had a little delivery. Thought I'd show you all what I've bought, why I've bought it. There's a reason why I've bought it. Should come in handy, hopefully. I will do a little review on my TikTok of it. So the reason, what it is it is a nootropic. So if you don't know what nootropic is, it's basically like a cognitive enhancer. So basically enhances your brain power pretty much. Sounds like it's, when you first hear it, it sounds like bullshit, doesn't it, when you say, oh, it enhances your brain power, because you think, oh, you can't make your brain any more powerful, but brain chemistry, you actually can make yourself a bit more brainy. So I've never actually had a pure nootropic cognitive enhancer. So I've got my pre-workouts, obviously. They all have cognitive enhancing ingredients in it. So, for example, L-tyrosine increases dopamine production. L-theanine makes you feel calmer. Alpha-GPC for focus, overall brain health. So I bought Strom's Clean Kill. Focus. There we go. Clean Kill. So it's called that because they've actually marketed it as gamer fuel. So for gamers, like people who play COD, basically, which is not me, really. But the main reason I bought it is because my motivation at the moment to do uni work is fucking rock bottom. Like, I've got assignments, I've got a dissertation to do. And because you've got that much time on your hands, it's almost like you've got too much time and it's impossible to make yourself do anything. So, well, I've bought this in the hopes that I'll do some uni work and be able to concentrate. Not sure if it'll work or if well, that's the excuse I'm giving myself, that's why I bought it. So it was between this, Strom's Clean Kill, Foresight's, is it Refocus? Is that Foresight's? Yeah, it is, I think. Foresight's Refocus, which is Insight, Danny from Insight, that's his brand. And Denovo's, I think it's Denovo's, Utopia. I've heard very good things about Utopia. But I messaged Mr. Thomas Moore, Mr. TM Cycles. I messaged him and said, which is the best out of them three? Because I've seen he's bought this recently. And he said this, so we'll give it a try. Obviously I haven't got COD to play on to test it, but I'll see if it does work for uni focus. What you'll notice from Nootropics is I absolutely love nootropic pre-workouts more than some people. Some people love high stim, like just get you like fucked up basically. I like the clean focus, not jittery, just like you go for your top set and you just feel yourself in the zone, calm, not too stimulated where you end up, I've had that before where you can't bring your heart rate down. It's absolutely horrible. That time when I did that video with Jamie, when we took the Jack 3D with the DMAN, I couldn't come down from that. The whole session, both of us actually. There's one point in that session where Jamie just went completely quiet. He didn't talk for ages, and I think it just blew his fucking head off. So I prefer nootropic, so I'm hoping I should like this because I've heard good things about it, and it smells absolutely unreal. I don't know what it smells of, but I recognise the smell. It smells similar to like candy floss? I don't know. I recognise that smell though. I'm gonna take the lid off. Or should I? No, we'll leave it for the TikTok review. So we'll start off with a pull down, warm up the lats, get some blood into those lats. We'll then probably move into a bent over row or an RDL. Probably a bent over row because my hamstrings are a little bit sore from doing legs the other day. Did RDLs the other day, so we'll do a pull down, get some blood pumping into those lats, prime those lats ready for a bent over row. That'll get plenty of blood into my entire upper body posterior, hands on my back, which if you've never done any type of push exercise, so bench press, with blood in your back muscles, in your lats and your traps, try it, trust me, get a pump in your back before you do a push workout and you feel so much more stable. It's great. So I'll talk you through everything, give you a few pointers, hopefully this will help you out. Force is a byproduct of stability. Without stability, you cannot produce force. Think about if you're on an ice rink in just trainers trying to run, you can't run because you can't produce force because you've got no stability. It's the same with this. So setup, I've got the same leg as the arm that I'm pulling with to stop my torso rotating. If I was here like this, you can twist pretty easily. Same foot, I'm pushing into the footrest to give myself stability through my hips. Got my hips rotating. The line of force is the cable. The cable predicts perfectly the line of force. So I'm leaning forward to align the line of force with those lower iliac lat fibres. So the lower fibres of your lats, most people don't have lower lats. They've got upper lats, not lower lats, because they can't target it. The function of the lower lats is slightly different to the upper lats. So if you look at the direction of the fibres, they wrap around your body and attach at the base of your spine. So the function of the lower lat, those iliac fibres which attach at the base of your spine, is to pull that arm in and around. That's why when I talk about rowing, for your lats, your elbow and your arm needs to be in close to your body, because that's the role of the lat. The lower lat fibres is to pull that elbow, that upper arm, in. So we lean forward slightly to align that line of force with those lower lat fibres. What a lot of people do wrong when they're trying to build muscle is they just go through the motions when they're doing exercises. So for example, in this exercise here, they're just moving the weight from A to B. If you want to build muscle, that weight needs to move initially because you've contracted your lats, not because you've used your rear delts or your traps to sheet the weight down. You need to build a strong mind-muscle connection with the muscle that you're aiming to target and use that mind-muscle connection to your advantage to initiate the movement by contracting that target muscle. And then when you reach peak contraction, you should be able to squeeze as hard as you can, and then to initiate the eccentric portion of the movement, you should be able to just release that contraction gradually and control that weight all the way up. In every single rep that you perform, you should have so much control that you should be able to pause like that. If someone to say pause at that moment of the rep, you should be able to just stop. If you can't just pause at any moment through the rep, you haven't got control of that load. You're the one that's always running through my daydream. I can only see your face. Right, I've got some blood into my lats. They are now primed, ready to do bent over rows. So we're going to do bent over rows, work up to a top set, then back off set. I can feel my pre-workout, fucking hell. That's the only good thing about not training, is you don't have pre-workouts as often. And then when you do take it, fuck me. Once again, I see so many people throwing the weight around and bent over rows. It's another exercise where at any point in that rep, even the most short position, when you're up here, you should be able to pause. You should be able to pause at any point in the range of motion if someone was to snap the fingers. I see so many people throwing the weight around like this. So they're like, no. Control. Pause. You don't necessarily have to pause at the top, but you should have the ability to be able to pause. You should have the control over that weight that you should be able to pause. So done with incline bench now. I'm doing incline rather than flat because, well, my shoulders are pretty shit. So this is going to be more shoulder and upper chest focused. Everyone could do some more upper chest, can't you really? Everyone wants a little fucking shelf like Arnold. He wants a shelf that they can just balance the juice on when they drink it in the morning. So a bench or any pressing movement in fact, whether that be with a dumbbell, barbell, a lot of people think you've got to touch your chest. You haven't got to touch your chest. Stay within your active range of motion. So your active range of motion is the range of motion available to you without the weight pushing your arm down. For example, if I was to just do this here like this now, what's the range of motion I can get to without the bar? So I can actually get down here, which is actually here. It's quite a bit above my chest. For me to get that bar to touch my chest, I'd need the bar to push me, the weight to push me down past my active range of motion into my passive range of motion, which is where I haven't got control of that weight. The weight is being moved onto ligaments, tendons, which over time, doing it for a long period of time, is just going to put more and more stress on those joints, on the ligaments, the tendons, and you're going to get injuries, or you're at a higher risk of getting injuries anyway. Look at Ronnie Coleman. Ronnie Coleman's a fucking sick guy, but the way he lifted was absolutely reckless. Like loading that much weight and throwing it around. The guy can barely walk now. So with any pushing movement, with any exercise at all, it's very, very helpful to know your anatomy, to know the role of muscles, the functions of muscles. So the role of that pec is horizontal adduction. So to bring your arm across the midline of your body, like you would in a fly, like you're doing a bench press. So when you're pressing, instead of thinking, I've got to push this weight up, think drive those elbows in together. And you will find that you can get a lot better connection in any press, especially with dumbbells, because you've got a lot better range of motion. You're not fixed on a bar, and you can get that pec fully short. I would use dumbbells here, but it's not ideal with the fucking huge plates. They absolutely ruin. I think you saw on the last video, they fucking ruin your hands. Top set, what should we go for? Does anyone else think that if someone heard what you listen to during it, everyone thinks when you're doing a workout you listen to like proper fucking hype music. Am I the only one who doesn't listen to hype music like during a workout? Like I feel like it just sends me too much. I'd rather listen to like Tyler the Creator on a top set. Like that's what I'm going for now. But Tyler the Creator, I'm gonna create some beautiful pectorals. So we've ticked off all the back muscles. We've done a vertical pull, horizontal pull. We've done an upper chest and delt exercise with the incline bench. And then now I'm just gonna do some side delts. Now a lot of people would do pair side delts with rear delts. I do my rear delts last. Now this is because I'm going to be doing arms after I've done my side delts, and rear delts are actually pretty important for stabilising your arms. So when you were doing a bicep curl or tricep push down, your rear delts working very hard to keep that shoulder fixed where it is. So if you were to fatigue your rear delts and then try and do arm exercises, you're not then going to get the most out of those arm exercises. And I'm trying to bring my arms up and my delts as well. About the rich ones.
every summer, he'd get some random right scheme to get rich from. I don't know what he did for dope, but he'll send me back to
I'm not sure whether I should compete or not next year. I did think about competing next year, but if I was to do it, it wouldn't be next year now because of obviously everything that's happened. I've regressed so much. I know I probably shouldn't be making excuses, but it's fucking hard, isn't it, man? Just to motivate yourself to do anything. Like I've dropped off so bad. Like if I had a coach, he'd be fucking screaming at me right now because I've dropped off so bad. And I've only really got myself to blame because I've got access to this. But it's just getting yourself here and doing it. So if I was to compete, I'd compete in 2023. I'm not sure whether I should or not. It's not the getting up on stage and posing and putting loads of fake tan on and looking absolutely shredded to the bone. Like obviously I'd want to look shredded to the bone, but it's not that part of it that attracts me to it. It's the process. It's just focusing on one goal and putting everything into achieving that and doing it like every single day, focused on doing that. And I wouldn't be able to do that whilst I'm still studying. And I'd want to have a solid base, so I'd want to be earning enough money. So all my online coaching, to be up and running to a point where I don't have to worry about money, because I think competing is quite expensive. You know, all the food you have to buy, because protein's probably the most expensive macronutrient. But I'm not sure. It'd make a sick YouTube series, and also I'd get some sick pictures of me shredded, but that's not what attracts me to it. It's the process. Routine, like I used to hate routine when I was little, but nowadays like I love being in a routine. Like it's when I make the most progress with absolutely everything. When I was in a routine last summer when I was working at Alton Towers, I was waking up at like 6:30, 7, going to the gym with Noah, not eating before. I'd have my pre-workout in the car on the way to the gym. That absolutely fucking pummels you, hits you like a train. You've got your carbs to get you through the workout, but because I was cutting and I was so sensitive to carbs, my body just would use those carbs, like just absorbs them like that, and my performance, even though I was cutting, was still sick. Like I was still progressing because I managed my nutrition in the right way. After the gym, I was rushing home, having a shower. I was doing vacuums in the shower. In between like washing myself, my face and my hair, I'd do like a 30-second hold of a vacuum just to train those muscles, core muscles. I wasn't even going to compete, but I just think vacuums look absolutely sick. So I was doing that, rushing, having a shower, and literally throwing my clothes on, cooking oats on the hob, throwing them down my throat, and then fucking speeding to work just to get there on time. But I loved it. I was then working till like 8, 9 at night all day. I'd have a half an hour break, but then me and Noah would sneak out for a protein shake after we've had a 30-minute break, just get some protein in, because it's a long day. But it was hard work, but I loved being in that routine. It worked. It just worked. So I can't wait to be in that routine again, but hopefully not having to work 8, 9 hour shifts at Towers. I'm going to move on to arms now, occluded arms. So this is probably my #1 tip for home workouts, is get some fucking occlusion bands. I swear to God, they're unreal. Not only is if you enjoy a pump, which I know everyone loves a pump, get them, but it's not just the pump that's amazing. I've touched on occlusion bands before, but basically what occlusion bands do is make light weights seem heavier, because what it does is makes your muscle work in a hypoxic environment, so one where it can't get as much oxygen as it needs. So you're going to create that metabolic stress, which is one of the drivers of hypertrophy. So it's going to make using light weights a lot more effective. They're very affordable as well. They were like £14 off Amazon. So this is where you put them on at the top. I've seen Rob will be watching this. I saw you, Rob. You put your occlusion bands halfway down your legs. Use your head, Rob. Come on, use your head. He learned, he didn't realise actually. He realised without, I don't know if someone told him, but he did realise. I saw, was it in his story, I think.
We're gonna have a problem here. You'll act like you never seen a white person before. Jaws all on the floor, the pan, the Tommy just burst in the door. We started whooping her ass worse than before. They burst with divorce.
So I'm doing the tricep push downs, single arm, with the rope. I've basically twisted, not twisted, but moved the metal bit to the end. It's long like I did with the pull downs. So to get the full range of motion, I've got to internally rotate my shoulders because that rope isn't long enough. So by doing single arm, I can keep my shoulders in a neutral position, not externally rotated, not internally rotated. I can keep my shoulders in position and take that tricep through the full range of motion without having to internally rotate.
The Slim Shadys are just imitating, so walk the real Slim Shady. Please stand up, please stand up, please stand up. Cause I'm Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady.
So that's going to be the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, learned something, and I'll see you in the next video. See you later.